Here's a problem you could run into while you're building homes, and that, of course, will be the pipe locations, the drain pipe locations that would be permanent in the concrete slab. And I would imagine you could move them if you needed to, if it was in a subfloor or something where you had a framed floor with floor joists and sheathing, and a crawl space. You could move something if you needed to, but let's face it, that normally doesn't happen. Most home builders work around problems like these, but I'm here to tell you that they don't need to happen with a little planning. Now, when you're looking at something like this looks relatively okay. We have studs. Here it's a wood framed wall. We actually have a shear wall in back of this wall, which would be the wall with the posts here. And you can see we got two plates. We got a plate here and a plate here, two separate walls. Now this one over here would be critical if the plumbing was over here. And let me show you what I'm talking about in this next picture. I'm sorry, the next picture I need to go to. You can see here that we have a plumbing waste pipe that is next to what looks like it's going to be a heavy-duty shear wall. We're actually using a 4x4 at the breaks, and you can see here this is about a 4-foot distance. Now, with that said, the plumber might have wanted to consider moving these pipes and keeping them away from these posts. Could you imagine if this post was a little farther, or if this pipe was over here, just moved over another 2 inches? It would have created a problem for the shear wall, or forced the framer to lay out a completely different wall, and of course who knows what kind of problems they could have ran into with that. I'm just here to point out that if you can, as a plumber or a home builder, double check your measurements and do a little more planning. Hey, if you're going to be laying out pipes in a shear wall, then it wouldn't be a bad idea to check the shear wall and see what they're going to use. If they're going to need 4x4s for the breaks, then this could create a big problem. If these 4x4s need to line up with something below, then there's a good chance, and you put your pipe in the way, they're not going to be able to do anything. The pipe will need to move, and of course that's going to cost you more money as the plumber. So I'm just here. This video is to point things out to people who are building homes, superintendents, contractors, and of course plumbers, framing carpenters, but mainly plumbers. You've got to look at every aspect of the project. Everything. You just can't go in and put your pipes in. And again, sometimes you get away with it, and you're not going to have a problem with it. I mean, could you imagine what would have happened if the plumber would have put this pipe over here and needed to drill through the 4x4? That would have weakened the entire shear wall, or at least the structure of it, and of course created more work for the plumber. So I'm just suggesting that you need to look out for more things, problems, potential problems, anything that's going to create more work for you as the plumber. Now let's go back to the other picture. And here we have a pipe that's right next to a channel. Now this shouldn't have been too difficult for the plumber to find. If this pipe would have been moved over to here, in the center here, or even about an inch or two away from the channel, then that would have worked out better for the framer. And of course there's a strap on this side of the wall, but on the other side you're going to have to bend the strap and go around the corner, which I'm not about to suggest that's a nightmare to do. The main reason why I'm making the video, of course, is to point out the drain locations and some of the problems that you could run into if you're not looking at everything. And I mean, you've got to look at every single possible thing that could interfere with your plumbing, and of course lead to more work which might force you to move your plumbing, for example. So that's about it. You guys and gals enjoy the videos. Hit me with a couple of thumbs ups. They are always greatly appreciated. And if you're learning, you enjoy these videos, there are plenty more, and I will keep them coming as long as I can think of new things to make videos on.